So we're going to do an exercise called Yoga Mudra. There are variations to this exercise. We're just going to start with the most simple form, and then we're going to add to it an exercise that can help with the opening up the shoulder area. So this is good for everybody. We often become less flexible in this part of our body. It can also be done in preparation for the shoulder stand. So just take a kneeling position. Sometimes people find it difficult to stretch this joint here, the ankle joint. What you can do if that happens is you can take a rug, or you can just get your mat like that and just put it underneath to not be in too much pain in this position. You want to be able to be relaxed, but don't take it so high that you're not stretching anymore. In an ideal situation, you're going to want to be reducing this and getting it so that you can sit with your legs with this joint straight, so you can actually be very comfortable in the sitting, in the kneeling position. But you want to be able to be comfortable. You don't want to be in pain. So just noticing then the body in that upright position. So you're wanting to have the spine nice and upright and the shoulders relaxed. So we're going to be bringing the body forward and just noticing what happens when we do that. We can do it a number of times. To just maintain a gentle openness in the shoulder region, what we're going to do is we're going to take the left wrist with the right hand, and then just let the arms hang down. You want them to be as relaxed as possible. It just brings an openness here into the upper body. So we're just going to come forward and bend at the hips. So keeping the back straight actually as you come down, and the chest open as you come down, not wanting to curl down too much and end up like that. We're just keeping an openness in the upper body, letting the breath flow freely and just observing the body as we come down. So really keeping a straightness in the back, so you're really getting the hips to bend, and you can even slightly stretch forward to keep a straightness in the spine, not with the shoulders though, so there's an activity in the spine. So you're just keeping an openness in the upper body as you come down. You're noticing then all the parts of the body are coming into contact with the upper leg, and then just at the end then you're just curling down then the top of your body right at the end, then the upper spine and the neck and the head come down onto the mat. And then when you come up again, you can lead with your head, and you're coming up in with a nice, fresh, new breath. So there's variations. You can do an out breath as you're coming down, and stay breathing out, and stay breathing out, and stay breathing out, all the way, even when you're down on the ground. And then when the impulse to breathe in comes, then you can take an in breath. So we'll just do that a couple of times. I'll just show you a couple of times. So as you're coming down, you're just breathing out. And you're continuing to breathe out when you're on the ground, continuing to let go. And then when you come up, there's going to be natural new impulse of breath as you come up, and then cycle begins again. So breathing out, and in, out, and in. So you can repeat that a few times, maybe up to sort of 10 times. When you come down to the bottom, you're continuing to breathe out. Becomes more of a gesture of breathing out rather than physically breathing out. You sort of almost no more air to breathe out, but you continue to breathe out. Let it go, and you'll start to be able to become very sensitive of your body, and maybe parts where you're holding back. Might be in the hip area, might be in the shoulders. You might just feel you're holding on a little bit in that area, not letting go. And through this process of just continuing to let go, you can then come to these parts of the body and really let them go. Always staying very aware of yourself in the movement, of the movement itself, of the body, and of the tension, and letting that tension go. And then and being aware then with that new, fresh in-breath as you come up, you're filling the lungs from the base up to the right, to the top tips of your lungs with this fresh new breath. So that's one way of doing exercise. It's very nice way of letting go, and also letting go and allowing then the new to come in. So what's just going to go through a few things that can happen in the position is because of a lack of mobility in the hip area, what people can do is they can come to here and then sort of not be able to go any further because of tensions or an inflexibility. And then to compensate from that, this knee joint then often gets opened up, and people then end up coming down onto the floor like this. Now, you can do this just to see how it feels like, but and compare it to the other way of coming down, and you've lost some of the exercise if you do that. You've lost the experience that you can have in the exercise of really letting the body come down to the ground, sort of almost morphing with the ground. The body is physical, the ground is physical. The exercise is really allowing the body to sort of reconnect with the earth, by completely letting go. And if you're raised up like this, you're not connected with the ground so much. So I would advise that you stay at the point that you get to, wherever it is. It might say it's here. And just to say, you can start to feel the body is not moving anymore here. It's starting to want to come away. Just stay in this position. Doing these positions is not really about getting to a physical end point. Obviously we do have an ideal and on some respect that we want to get further physically, but the reason for doing these exercises is that we learn qualities, that we learn how to work with our body or what we're expressing with our body. And the position of Yoga Mudra is about letting go on a physical level. It's about the body letting go. what happens then, if you really learn to let go, is you can become more aware of the part of yourself that is not physical, that is observing. And you're wanting to actually develop that and develop this ability to come to a calm and observing space, which is more easily attained through relaxation. If we're very caught up in our bodies, then it's not so easy to just observe the body. So by letting go, you can come to a place of observation more easily. So this is can be achieved at any point. In fact, people who are extremely flexible and come down very, very easily won't be developing the qualities as much as those who have a challenge, because if you're challenged, you have to develop something to overcome it. So what happens then for those who come down very easily is you take on more advanced positions with the body to test yourself more, and I'll do videos showing those. But right now, if you're challenged at this point, then I would support the body with the hands, so you're not holding yourself and then ending up getting it tight in this place. Supporting the body with the hands, and just really observing yourself where you've got to. So you might then obviously not continue to breathe out at this point. You will let the breath just flow freely, but you might be aware that with breathing out there is a letting go taking place. But don't use the breath. Don't enter too much with your awareness into your breathing. Otherwise, you could start to fixate the breath on the body. And the aim of the exercise is to be free with your awareness, not to fixate into the physical. So, and you're just observing all the parts of your body. Now, we're all different and we have different reasons why we're not coming forward anymore. And it might be your shoulders, it might be your legs, it might be your hips, it might be your lower spine. But you're just staying patiently wherever you've gotten to and just looking at the ground, feeling the ground with the hands, being aware of the ground with the hands, and allowing your body to sink onto the ground. So it's nice, you have the earth here, you can really connect with that, you can trust it. You can really bring your sensation into your hands, and you can really just let the body just really come down onto the ground. You're just letting go. And then you might find a bit of tension again is stopping you. Just pause there. Don't worry about it. Just come back to feeling the ground again. Feeling the body on the ground and letting the body come down. So wherever you've got to, just be patient at that point. Let go. Feel the ground. Still just sensing the ground. Allowing the body to release and allowing the body to come down. And just letting the muscles relax. And just feel yourself, eventually you'd feel yourself melting into the ground, but you don't want to lose yourself in that feeling. You want to observe yourself in that feeling. Observe the experience, the body-free experience that can be had if you let go of the body. This is the significance of this exercise. And if you just go into the feeling of just losing yourself into the ground, then you've lost your awareness. You've lost the ability to observe. You want to have these two planes, the physical, releasing, and the mental, the awareness self, observing.